Good morning, 26th of August here. It's a Thursday, and it's the morning, so that's nice. Today is the first day that I officially don't have a roommate anymore. I took Charlie to the airport yesterday, and so he's off and away to Ireland to live with Rachel and get married next year. What I'm doing here this morning is hooking up this neutral lug to my load center so I can connect the sub panel in the garage, get a couple of outlets and lights going so that I can work at night again. The reason I had to get this neutral lug is because the neutral conductor on my 2224 service entrance cable is too big to fit on the load center's neutral lug connectors. So got this little adapter. It'll accommodate up to a 2.0 cable and be more than enough for what I need here. So anyways, I'm going to do a little bit of light electrical work this morning, hooking up my load center to my sub panel in my garage. Got my sub panel wired up. I'm gonna go turn the main breaker on and see if any of this works. Moment of truth. So far, so good. My outlet testers showing that it's correct. And I have light again. I really don't have any other electricity in the house still, which is fine. I'm gonna head to work for the day and come back tonight and do a bunch more electrical stuff. Of course, I'm gonna shut off the main load center for now, just to be safe, and I'll see you guys back here tonight. Hey, it's Friday, August 29th, and today Dad and I are working on the electrical system. Right now, Dad is installing the grounding wire that will bond the copper water system to the grounding system of the main load center. This morning, got all of those extra wires ripped out. So the other project today was just ripping out any other wires in the house. The only wires in the house that are still hooked up right now, I'll show them to you. This outlet right here, which is in the garage, and this 240 volt outlet for the table saw. Nothing else is left, so today Dad and I are going to start running branch circuits. So that'll be canister lights first and foremost, and switches, and kind of adding outlets down the road. Lights first, of course, so we can see when we're working. Good morning, Saturday, August 28th, and it's about 7 in the morning. Just had some breakfast with Dad. I didn't film much yesterday, but we got a good bit done. The main projects we got done yesterday was running the number 4 ground wire from the load center down to the water mains in the basement. This is done, of course, so that anything metal in the home is at the same potential. That number 4 cable was pretty tough and thick, so it was hard to run, but we got it done. Also started putting in the first canister lights, and yesterday Dad worked on a project fixing the top stair, which I didn't properly install with the bullnose roundover, and that's something that he's fixing. The projects for today are putting a lot more of the recessed canister lights in and starting to hook up the different branch circuits. I'm going to Home Depot to pick up a few pieces, and then we'll be back at the house cranking away. Well, it's a little after 5, and Dad and I got a lot done today. We've got all the canister lights installed except for one in each bathroom, one in the hallway. It's 3 left, and upstairs is done. I've got most of the wiring ahead of me though. I've got one bedroom wired up, and I just finished wiring up the dining room. So as I wire up a room, I check it and make sure it's good. Next, I'll wire up the second bedroom. I'll move on to the office over here. After that, I'll wire up the living room, and lastly, the kitchen. So I'll keep showing you progress as I do that. Good evening. It's Sunday, August 29th, and I didn't do any work on the house today. 2 reasons. 1, I slept until 3 p.m. I was tired from Saturday and Friday. But also, I wanted to take a day to reflect on how the electrical system's going. I realized that in many of my gang boxes, I'm putting more wires into those boxes than I should. One of them is a violation of code, just because it has 5 wires coming in. But also, it's going to be easier if I put some junction boxes in the attic. And then for light switches, I only have 2 wires. One coming in, that's the hot wire coming in, and then the other set of Romex going out is the set of Romex going to the lights. You can have junction boxes in the attic for all of your supply needs and to connect all those different supply locations, and then only have a 2-wire drop where there's a switch. So that's going to be a lot better. The other thing I got today was 9 more of these 20 amp GFCI, AFCI combination breakers. They are hard to find at my local Home Depot, but Superior had 9 of them, so I bought all of them. Nice thing about these, they're also plug-on neutral, so it's a pretty big breaker, but they don't have the pigtail for the AFCI component. They just pop right onto your neutral bar and you're good to go. You do have to connect the hot and the neutral to the breaker though, but I've got one so far. That's what these lights are running on, and it's really nice. Code says that you need an AFCI breaker for most circuits, and then in places where there's water, you also need GFCI, such as kitchen receptacles and bathroom receptacles. I've decided, given the difference between an AFCI and a combo GFCI AFCI at $5, I'm just gonna do the combo on everything, just really future-proof the circuitry in the home. But that does mean each one of these is 48 bucks, so they don't come cheap, but it's what has to be done, and in the grand scheme of things, the safety they provide is well worth it. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna double check all the code requirements tonight for junction boxes. I know that when you put something in the attic, 1, they have to be covered, but 2, they can only go in certain locations. For instance, you wouldn't put them right against the roof, because if you re-roof, you could drive a nail through that junction box and puncture a wire. That's not good. So I'll see you back here tomorrow, and I'm gonna install some junction boxes before I proceed with the rest of the electrical system. But now that I've got 9 more of these, I can really start running my branch circuits. Oh, and the other thing I noticed today, just before I sign off, I noticed while reviewing code that really, when I get my rough-in inspection, I shouldn't have any switches or outlets installed. And so The nice thing about my connectors is they're just the plug-in connectors. They're not pigtail twists. It's really easy to plug one in and to twist it out. So I will rough in all of my electrical. I will attach receptacles and switches just to test the circuits. And then once I've done my own testing, I'll take those out. The reason I'm gonna do that is because I just want the peace of mind knowing that I haven't messed anything up. My inspector will check things, but once insulation goes up, it's gonna be really, really hard to run additional lines. So it's a lot of talking. I'll see you back tomorrow for some more circuits, some junction boxes in the attic, and getting this thing closer to a fully wired house. See you tomorrow. Monday, 30th of August, let's recap some electrical stuff that I chatted about yesterday. This box is legal. It's an 18 cubic inch box, and it has 3 Romex wires coming in, and these are 12-2 wires each. Apparently, the way you do the math for these is each conductor is rated for 2.25 cubic inches, and all of the grounds are rated 1 cubic inch, and each switch or receptacle is rated 2 cubic inches. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 conductors at 2.25 cubic inches each. So doing the quick math on that, that's 14 cubic inches, 14 and a half cubic inches, excuse me, plus 1 for all the conductors, that's 15 and a half, plus 2 for this, that's 16 and a half, 17 and a half. So you can see that's just half an inch shy of the maximum. So this gang box has 4 Romex wires with a total of 8 conductors and 4 grounds. So this is actually exceeding what this box is rated for by 5 cubic inches. So I'm definitely gonna have to take this out and put in a junction box. That, or I'm gonna have to take one of these conductors and instead of running it to the dining from here, run it from a location that doesn't have such a full gang box, which is another good option. I'm getting to the end of the weird little framing projects. One that I have left is framing out the angle bits below the skylights so that there's enough room for insulation and so that drywall can be hung. So this kind of goes at 15 degrees like this in this direction. And you can see there's just a little cutout that needs to happen right at the top to accommodate basically a roof member that kind of hangs down. I just tested this out and it fits all of the joists perfectly. A couple are snug, a couple are a little bit looser, but one thing about making a template and cutting everything to this template is that I'll have even spacers all the way across. So I'm gonna cut about 8 of these out next.